Not all builder incentives are created equal, and some deals only look good until you actually break the numbers down. I've seen buyers choose a builder based on a big incentive and completely miss out on a good deal that was sitting right in front of them. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually evaluate the builder's incentives the right way, so you don't just pick what looks good, but what actually benefits you. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kay, giving you the real keys to home ownership so that your first buy is the right one. If you're ready to start your home buying journey, I do offer one-on-one consultations where we can build a plan around you and your goals. The link for that is in the description below. And for the rest of you, let's get into it. Now, let's start with something that most people don't realize. Builder incentives are designed to grab your attention and get you to stop comparing. Because once you see something like, we're offering $20,000, your brain immediately goes, that's the best deal. And in return, you stop asking questions. And that right there is where buyers lose their leverage. Because let me ask you this, if one builder offers you $20,000 and another builder offers you $5,000, are you automatically choosing the $20,000? Well, most people do, but that doesn't mean that that's actually the better deal. I want to break this down in a way that helps you think through this. Think about it like this. There are 3 different types of incentives that a builder is going to offer. First, you have your payment-focused incentives. These are things like the builder giving you monies to help you with closing costs or to help lower your interest rate. And these incentives are usually most helpful because they do affect your real numbers. Now, secondly, you have something called cosmetic incentives. And these are upgrades, appliances, and design credits. And they feel nice, right? But they don't always help you financially. And then lastly, third of all, you have structured incentives. And these are usually tied to the builder's preferred lender and have very specific conditions. And this is where you as a buyer really want to slow down and pay attention to what you're signing and agreeing to. Here's what most buyers don't do because they don't know to. They don't compare the full price. And what I mean when I say that is they're not looking at the base price, what's already included in that price, and what they would have to pay for somewhere else. Because sometimes one builder may look cheaper, but in actuality, they're giving you less. And another builder may look more expensive, but that's because their price is including more upfront. And this is something that I see and hear all the time. You walk in thinking you have all this incentive money to use, and then you go into the design center. Now you're upgrading floors and cabinets and blinds and fixtures and all the things. And before you know it, you've gone over budget, even with the incentive that the builder gave you. So really, that didn't save you any money. It just made it easier for you to spend more. Now let's take some time to talk about something that really affects you long term. And that's rate buydowns, because this is one of the main ways that builders use incentives. And if you don't understand it, it can sound better than it actually is. You might hear something like a 2-to-1 buydown and be like, okay, that sounds good, but what does that even mean? And all that is a temporary way for you to lower your interest rate for the first couple of years. So in year 1, your interest rate is about 2% lower than, we'll call it the market rate. And then in year 2, it's about 1% lower. And then by year 3, it goes back to your full rate for the remainder of that loan. So your payment does start lower, which can feel very helpful in the beginning, especially if you're trying to ease into home ownership. But what a lot of people don't realize is that lower payment is only temporary. So if you're making that decision based on that lower payment and you're not prepared for it to increase later, that's where people get caught off guard. Anytime you're being offered a lower payment, whether you're going new construction or pre-existing, you always want to ask, is this helping me long term, or is this just making things feel easier for me right now? And if you're not sure, please consult with your lender and your real estate agent. That's why it's so important who you partner with, so they can talk with you and explain these things that can be hard to understand. Another thing that doesn't get talked about enough is that incentives are not unlimited. Depending on your loan type, there are actually limits to how much of that you can use. Builder incentives are one and the same of what a seller concession or seller credit is. And sometimes builders will even offer you a higher incentive than which you can even apply. And now that's extra money that doesn't benefit you at all. This is where I want you to think differently, because it's going to separate you from the average buyer. Instead of asking what incentives are they offering me, start asking, where do I want these incentives incentives applied, because sometimes you can shift it towards lowering your monthly payment or covering your upfront costs, or even adjusting the structure of the deal. And that gives you more control. The buyers that take the time to sit down and understand what deal they're signing themselves into always make a better decision. And this is exactly what I mean when I talk about my keys framework. This part right here, the E stands for evaluate, because it's not what looks like the best deal, but understanding what deal you're getting. Looking at your numbers, your payment, your long-term outcome, and actually making a decision that works for you. Here's the truth. Builder incentives are not free money, but they are a strategy. And they can either help you or cost you, depending on how well you understand what you're looking at. So don't just chase the biggest number, but make sure the deal actually makes sense. If you're currently looking at new construction and want help breaking down your options so that you can confidently choose the right deal, I do offer one-on-one consultations. And the link for that is in the description below. And if you're still learning, check out these next 2 videos to build your knowledge and help you become more prepared for when you are ready to start your home buying journey. It's a lot to learn, but once you do, it'll make your process that much smoother. Remember, when you know better, you buy smarter. Until next time, see you in the next one.